This is far too soon for me to be doing this. I had planned to give Swann's eulogy someday as best-selling author Chad L. Ward performing the eulogy for his best friend and illustrator Swann. A remembrance more fitting of someone of his talent, his heart, his personality. It was a path that while we toyed with the idea of it, gazed down at ways to see if we could catch a glimpse of the possibilities, put off for just a little longer and longer, it was a path that we had just set out on. A path to make all of our dreams come true, and more frighteningly, to make all of our dreams available for all to read and to see. Sure, we have a peek here and there into how great we could have been. The talent was there for sure. He had it all. I was the one needing the writing skills that could come close to equal his art. I was getting closer. Brendan was an amazing artist, as you can see by the works displayed here and the works that most of you have seen from him or in his portfolio. But Brandon had another art that you won't find on most papers he drew on, or computer screens displaying his image. You can only find it in our hearts and in our memories of him. Brandon was a smile on a harsh day, a trustworthy companion on a day in which a smile just wasn't going to cut it, and a true friend who would listen to you when that was all you needed. Though you could always count on the fact that if he had an opinion on the subject, you'd be sure to know it. To most people driving past him on the street, he might appear as the guy you were glad your daughter wasn't dating. I'm sure many people passed him off as such. Truly, it was their loss. Anyone who took the time to take a closer look at who he was saw in him what we did. A loving, kind-hearted friend who was accepting of anyone, any religion, any social standing. We here in this room, as well as the friends and family who could not attend today, we are the ones that were given the gift of him in our lives. We were given this gift, and such a wonderful lesson. He was a great example as to how each and every one of us should stop and look closer. Look closer before passing initial judgments on those that we meet. Look closer at those we already have in our lives. Look closer and find the pieces of happiness in our lives, our relationships, in ourselves. Brandon had some rough times there, as we all know. He worked through it. He survived it all. He did what he could to break free and to find those little pieces of happiness in his life. In the end, he had truly found them and embraced them. He was in a relationship with a woman that he truly loved. He loved her children and even had a great admiration for their father, as well as their father's blessing for him to become their stepfather. Well, my daughters loved him too, of course. He was on very good terms with all of his family, biological or otherwise. He spent time with his friends, new and old. He indulged in the pleasures of a nice, peaceful, loving relationship, and he had resparked the flames of his creativity. Not only was he working again on the computer, but he had just picked the pencil back up and started to draw freehand again. To him, his life was finally once again pretty damn good. It is usually at this point that I would stop and think, why? Why did you have to take him when everything was so good? Why, when all of this was going so well? However, after sitting back and trying to figure out what the heck I was going to write, it gave me time to realize that this isn't a time to question why, but a time to be thankful that it was such a great time for him. He drifted off to sleep in a moment in which he was finally back on top. It was too soon for us. It always will be with Brandon or with anyone that we love or care about. We are all selfish in that way, and there's nothing wrong with it. Love each other like there's no tomorrow. Hold on and embrace each day. Find those pieces of happiness to cling to. They are how we know that we are alive. They are the light and the warmth for all of those that we will leave behind, for those who will remember us. It is this spark of who we are that they will all remember. Brandon's spark burns bright in us all, our memories, our hearts.